Hello there, lovely people. It's Alex from Nintendo Life here. And I think possibly, maybe not for the first time, but certainly one of the few times I'm actually at a disadvantage. I'm surrounded by two women. Hello, Mai and Jem.
Yeah.
Hello.
What has happened? Nintendo Life has gone woke. Who'd have thought it?
Oh dear.
Now, it is no secret that recently Nintendo has been, should we say, leaning on remakes a little bit more than I think people would typically expect. Not that Nintendo's exactly, afraid of remakes and things like that, and remasters and ports, and we're going to do a little bit of a definition before we get too far. And we are going to talk about it because is it really new? Oh, we're going to delve into it, but as I say, we're going to do a definition. So, obviously, you've got kind of three schools of thought. You've got your ports, which are basically what we're going to define as, and you can define them as you like. But what we're going to do is a port is a game that is moved from one platform to another with minimal changes. A remaster is a game that is moved from one platform to another, or even just, to the same platform. It happens. But with significant improvements, but it's still the same sort of game underneath. It's the same code, but, sort of some, visual enhancements is the most common, for example. A remake is from the ground up. It's new code for the most part. Maybe some stuff's carried over, but, 90% of it is brand new. Just the design is the same overall, like the game design and things like that. Level layouts, all that sort of thing. That is a remake. So, do we like remakes? I like the Star Fox one. I thought that was very good.
I think it kind of depends really on what they bring to the table.
No. I'm sorry. We can't have nuanced takes. This is
damn
the
it.
internet.
Oh, no.
I don't know. I think it really, again, it depends on what if there's anything new they're going to bring to the table, because there's nothing I don't like. Something I dislike more than they say, oh, it's a remake, and really all they've done is just added modern controls or made it all nice and shiny. Add a few extra bells and whistles, and then I'm happy with a remake. But also, it means I can play it on newer consoles, which makes me kind of happy. I don't have to go around and grab my wires from my old consoles and try and figure out how to plug them into new monitors and HDMI converters and, that kind of jazz.
It can be a faff, can't it?
Oh my God, yes, a faff. Yes. We both know, don't we, Alex?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Especially when you're trying, I think it's especially difficult for us being in the PAL region, where we have to also deal with things like 50 hertz. Also 576p as opposed to 480p. Usually you can get around these things, but it's another layer on top of an already, sort of stacked sandwich of complication. But Jem, to say you're not just Nintendo, I think you might be a fan of one particular franchise. I can't remember what it is. I think it might be, Pokemon or something.
Yeah, it's Jigglypuff, right?
Yeah, that's
I
Jigglypuff.
love Jigglypuff. Yeah, exactly that. Love Jigglypuff. My favourite game. But yeah, for remakes, for me, I agree with Mai. I want something added onto it. And I think also it is about the accessibility as well. With if it is something retro that I don't have the console for example, having it on a current gen system obviously means that myself and everyone else can play it and experience it. And I appreciate when they port older stuff, especially.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of curious to hear from both of you. Can you give me an example of a remake you approve of and a remake you disapprove of?
Oh, one that I approve of is Link's Awakening. However, I didn't play the original. Don't come for me. So, my opinion might be voiced.
Just as well you're technically Hookshot and not just Nintendo Life.
I didn't play the original, okay? But I got to experience it as a new player, and I absolutely loved every moment of it. Cried at the end. It was just a phenomenal experience overall, and I wouldn't have got that had they have not remade it. So, yeah, I loved it.
What about you, Mai? One that you approve of?
I mean, I'm going to copy Gemma. I played
No,
Link's
no.
Awakening.
No. No, we need some variety.
I keep getting non-Nintendo titles in my head when
You
it comes
can
to
go with
remakes.
non-Nintendo. That's absolutely fine.
I mean, I'm only like halfway through it so far, the remake, but only because I've played the original so many times. We were talking about this before the call, is the Silent Hill 2 remake, which is out on PC and PS5. So what I approve of this message when it comes to Silent Hill 2 is the fact that they had, it was more of a love letter to the original game. So they kept like the main story and everything like that. They changed the ending a little bit, but they updated stuff like the puzzles. They made it more accessible in sense of it getting new players to bring it to the new console, which makes me very happy because Silent Hill 2 is expensive. It's really expensive to get on PS2, and yes, you could possibly play it in the HD collection, but for anyone who's played the 360 version, which I have, or even the PS3 version, again, they're expensive, and also they're quite comical in a way. There's a whole Comic Sans situation with Silent Hill Ranch in the 360 version,
I think
which
I've seen screenshots of that.
love.
Yeah,
I actually love it. I secretly hoped that it would be in the remake, but
so
they managed
sorry.
to keep-
I'm curious, and if I don't ask now, it'll fall out of my head, and I'll be annoyed when I remember in 5 days'
Yeah.
time. The puzzles you say have changed. Have they changed kind of arbitrarily? Have they just been made easier, or are they just different?
For example, like the last time I played Silent Hill 2, the original, must have been about 5-6 years ago. But I remember when I started the remake, I don't recall there being the jukebox puzzle in the bar, for example. So in the new one, you have to go and find pieces of a broken record. You have to go to like the apartments. You have to go to different areas. Also, when you first experience your first enemy as well, it's a different encounter altogether. So in the original, you come across the radio. You hear it buzzing and like a little construction bit. You go through the fence, and then all of a sudden you got the little "I've got no arms, I'm going to spout on my chest" kind of lad. I forget what his real name is. I'm such a fake Silent Hill fan, but you go beat him to. Yeah, let's call him Alan. Alan the chest spouter. So you come across
To
him
use his
in
full
the
title.
Yes, Mr. Alan the chest spouter. You experience him in like a little kind of underpass blocked off bit. You go and beat him to a pulp because you're like, oh my god, what's this monster thing? Whereas in the remake, you go through a building and you follow the path of blood, which you kind of do in the original, but you find them in a building, you beat them to a pulp in the building, and you have to traverse yourself outside. It doesn't take long, but what I liked about that is that, okay, so people who are like me, who have played the games quite a few times, who are familiar with the series, it kind of turns you on your head a little bit in a good way.
It gives you something else. It's something for the original players as well, and that's what I was really hoping you'd say, because I'm not familiar with any Silent Hill, frankly, except for that one ending with the dog.
A lot of them have dogs.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The Silent Hill 2 famously has the dog.
One remake that I'm particularly, even though, you know what, I haven't played it to completion ever. I've not even played it substantially. Fire Red and Leaf Green. Mm-hmm. Because I think the original Pokemon Red and Blue, or Red and Green if you want to be in Japan, that's fine as well. Although, yeah, I mean, I suppose you could argue that Red and Blue in the West
different,
are remakes. They're more sort of enhanced ports. You see, we're getting specific here. But Fire Red and Leaf Green are definitely remakes, and they fix so many issues with the original games. Not that there were... Okay, no, there were major issues with the original games, which I think did give them a sort of slightly eclectic, sort of mysterious feel about them. When you'd hear that, if you do this bizarre series of events, you can then come across Pokemon that are over level 100, and you go, yeah, right, whatever, mate. And it turns out you can, because the games were fundamentally broken, because they kind of, there's no way that they should have been able to fit on a cartridge that small, but they managed it. But instability came as a result. Frankly, it's amazing that they were as stable as they were. But Fire Red and Leaf Green, they just, they're not rock solid. They're still GBA games, but my God, such a step up. And I think really adds, sort of also that, sort of it adds extra layers in the fact that you can trade Gen 1 Pokemon to
being able to run.
to third gen. Yes,
That's
so
a big
many
thing for me.
so many quality of life features it ends up being, and I think a lot of people agree. It is kind of, to a lot of people, kind of the best way to play the Kanto games. That's up for debate, of course. It's the same with any remake. Some people will argue that, for example, the original Metroid is better than Zero Mission. They're wrong, but, people are welcome to make that argument. But there's good remakes and there's bad remakes. Pray tell.
Well, speaking of Pokemon, I mean, this was more the buzz online, but the Diamond and Pearl remakes I know have notoriously a bad rap. Now, I did have a copy of one, and I can't even remember why, but I ended up just putting it down one day and not finishing it, which I feel like says enough in itself, right? But yeah, I've seen a lot online about how they are notoriously not very favourable and didn't really do, I guess, what you'd say a remake should do in terms of adding improvements and quality of life stuff. And like you said, with Fire Red and Leaf Green, kind of fixing any problems. So I've seen online and through like the community comments and stuff is that it just didn't improve on any of those parts. So I don't know if either of you played them or had an experience with them.
So I haven't played the Switch remakes of Diamond and Pearl, sadly, because it was always games that I was like, oh, should I save up for this? I also never originally played the original games. I own Pearl and I have played it since, but I don't know, like it looks cute, the little chibi characters and everything, but no, not really much experience, if I'm perfectly honest. Maybe in the future I'll get it.
I had, when I saw it and I saw they were going to do remakes, I thought, okay, what are they going to do with this? Because I was a massive fan of Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Like that's an original idea.
Yeah.
Everyone loves those games. But you know what? Everyone loves cake. It's just good, okay? And, I actually really liked Amiga Ruby and Alpha Sapphire as well. At me in the comments for my pronunciation of Amiga. It's okay. It's okay. I won't hurt you. I don't know where it's going with that. I heard they were remaking it, and then I saw it, and I was like, wow, they're not bringing anything new to it. Okay, new graphics and stuff like that, but again, it's what was being, what you were saying earlier, Mine, was actually irritatingly my final point in my notes. So thanks for spoiling that within about, 2 minutes of the video. A remake must have a purpose. And that purpose should be more, a purpose for the player. And I suppose you could argue that, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I think that's what it is, it's an accessibility thing again, allowing players to play the games on more modern systems. But at the same time, I would say in this instance, it's maybe not enough because it also strips back a load of stuff because you don't have the DS functionality. You don't have the two screens. So it's arguably in some ways a lesser version of the game. It doesn't run as well. It's 30 frames a second. The reflections eventually worked when they patched it. But yeah, no, I agree. I think that is a weak remake that I would not go out of my way to praise or even like. But a poor remake in your eyes.
It's a third-party game again, but it is on Switch. Is the Tomb Raider remastered trilogy, the original one.
Is that a remake though? If it's remastered, you just said remastered.
Is it called I mean, I would classify. I don't know.
This is the thing.
It does
I know. I'm
it
not
does
trying.
add things to it, though. That's the annoying thing.
It's definitely sometimes things don't fit into one category or another.
Yeah.
And different people have different definitions for what constitutes a remake and a remaster. So well done for bringing that up and adding another lovely bit of nuance to the already complicated topic.
I mean, they don't have Tomb Raider Anniversary on Switch, so otherwise I would have done that. But yeah, to me, I am going to stick to my guns and say it's the 1 to 3 collection for Tomb Raider, purely because of muscle memory for me when it comes to the controls. So they added, they kept the tank controls of the original games, and then they added modern controls. I'm used to the tank controls, and trying to play the modern controls, I bloody hated it. Absolutely hated it. I tried getting used to it. I instantly went, okay, so I need to the action button. Okay, the action button would be a B in this sense, or X on the PlayStation, sort of thing, as it originally was. No, it's
Unless
not.
you're in Japan.
Yeah, unless you're in Japan. And it's not. It's the Y button for some reason. It's like, no, it's not the square button. And having to go in between. And I've been trying to replay the original games for years. And I was hoping that with this remaster, I'd be able to. But not with those controls. I'm sorry. I'm upset about it. I'm just going to have to go to Tomb Raider 2013, that remake sort of series, redo.
Well, I have. I actually played it for review. The remastered trilogy or remake, and I found an issue. I preferred the modern controls because I'm not familiar with the originals, so I wanted what was most familiar to me. I did try the tank controls, and I thought, haha, I don't like these. Even though I've played games with tank controls before, I just believe we've moved on. But the thing that really got me is that if you were playing, I believe, modern controls, and you got in the boat in, I don't know where it was, Venice or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm not
that'd
sure
be the
about
first, the second level
something like that, yeah.
of Tomb Raider 2.
When you get in the boat, you cannot get out of the boat. There is no button bound to get out of boat.
Oh, no.
Or something to that effect. It may well be that it wasn't programmed properly. I pressed literally every button, and then I went to tank controls, pressed the button I thought it would be, got out no problem. So there is definitely something to be said for, sort of slapdash instances. Whether you consider it a remake or a remaster, I'm not going to split hairs at this point. As for me, you know what? Since you've already done it, it's in my notes, and I was going to sort of dance around it. I'm gonna kind of say Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary Edition.
Oh.
Which is not really a remake either. It's kind of a remaster because you can just press a button and see the old graphics.
Yeah.
But then not everything functions in exactly the same way. It's a bit wobbly. But the big thing for me is the graphics. Well, the lighting mainly. They ruined it. All the moody instances. And this is something that you see in a lot of, admittedly, more remasters than remakes, but you see in some remakes as well. Whereas before something was moody and dark and atmospheric and utilized the sort of the limitations of the hardware to the best effect, like the fog in Silent Hill. I may not be that familiar, but I'm well aware the fog in Silent Hill, sort of that was a limitation. As so many games, I love the fact, I find it so ironic that before fog was used because machines weren't powerful enough, and now fog is like a massive resource hog, which I find very funny. That's my kind of humor. But the in Anniversary Edition, Halo 1, the atmosphere is completely gone in so many instances. Everything looks just, sort of typical HD textures slapped on. And it ruins so much of the game's atmosphere. And I didn't really appreciate it at the time, but I do remember feeling differently when playing the game. And I imagine it was, potentially partly to do with that. But I think at the time I just put it down to, well, I've already played the game. I'm familiar with it. I hadn't played it on Xbox before. I played it on PC originally because I'm that kind of person. Many a wasted 3 a.m. session playing Halo online with friends, trying to get into other people's servers and sometimes succeeding. But Mai, I believe you had a point.
I was going to say, I have the Anniversary Collection. I played a lot of Halo when I was as a teenager, going over to my friend's house, always playing Halo. Whenever I jump into playing the Halo Anniversary Collection, I always play with the original graphics. I prefer it. But on the upside, like Tomb Raider, you can change it on the fly.
Yeah, and I always really appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. But it's the thing for me is that, you can talk about remakes, whether they're good, they're bad, or anything like that. I think a lot of people feel like they're really, common at the moment, and the remakes is all that's happening. And certainly when you look in broader media, things like Disney have been doing a lot of remakes recently, mainly to refresh their copyright.
Just turning everything into live action.
Yeah. Or The Lion King, which is apparently live action, but instead it just means it's using realistic graphics with no emotion. But But, sort of remakes are by no means a new thing, even remotely. I thought I'd do a little bit of digging, and even with games, we've seen some old classic examples. But, I looked it up on Wikipedia because there's no better source in the world. I'm sorry, teachers of the past. It is a good source. It provides its sources so you... Anyway, one of the classic examples is Ben-Hur from 1959, which is a remake of the 1925 original, which was a silent film. And, sort of Ben-Hur, the 1959 one, is considered a classic. But I imagine there were plenty of people at the time who were decrying it, going, oh, it's just a remake or something like that. But the thing is that the original was a silent film. So by remaking it, they brought it, bigger budgets, made it more, made it colour, gave it sound. And therefore it makes it not only more accessible, sort of just, for people who don't want to sit down and watch a silent film, but also it makes it a sort of a bigger experience. The kind of generational leap is quite substantial. That's kind of how I feel with like Link's Awakening, because arguably the game's the same, but the generational leap is so big. It's like, okay, yeah, it's worth it. It's been, 26 years since the original. And, the same, I think the same with Ocarina of Time. It's been 28 years, and the film 28 years later is good. Star Fox, 29 years. Metroid Zero Mission was 18 years, and that felt like a lifetime at the time. God, I'm old.
It's funny you should mention about Ben-Hur, because I'll do you one better. A Star is Born. That's had 4 remakes.
Really?
And also you had, so you had like the most recent one with Lady Gaga. Before that was Barbara Streisand, Judy Garland, and then originally there was another actress, I can't remember, the one who's always forgotten. But yeah, 4 remakes of that.
Wow.
I think
Steve
also...
Buscemi.
Yeah, Steve Buscemi's that old. It was like 1930s or something, the original one came out.
He looks like he could be from the 30s. No, that's me.
We also don't take into account with films that have been turned into TV series, remade, like The Burbs, for example. That's been remade into a TV series. And that film only came out mid-80s,
Did you say The Burbs as in suburbs?
Yeah. The Tom Hanks film.
I thought you meant The Birds, the Alfred Hitchcock film. You just said it really poorly.
The Burbs. I'm a millennial. We say burb. But yeah, so like that, for example, has been turned into a TV series. There's a few films that have been just turned into TV series as well. So yeah.
But I think that sort of the instance, we were mentioning like the Disney remakes, and I would argue that most of the Disney remakes are unnecessary. Not because, I'm stuck in the past, the older ones were better, sort of I can, still appreciate a remake if it's worthwhile. But the Disney films, especially Snow White, The Lion
Moana.
King.
Moana's out this year, and that came out less than 10 years ago.
That is a different argument altogether. That is just, hey, how can we make money? Wah, 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 wah. But for me, like, you could argue that Snow White, well, that was ages ago. Sort of, surely it has a purpose now. It's been long enough. But the thing is that because it's animation, because it's fantasy as well, it's timeless. When I was growing up, for the longest time, I had no idea how old Snow White was. I knew it was older than me, but I was like, I don't know, maybe, the 70s? It's from like I don't know, I should have checked, but like the 30s or something, or the
Take
20s.
My Disney hat off.
To
Let you guess.
When did it come out, Mai?
1921, I want to say.
Wow. And yet, and the
or
thing is,
1936, I can't remember.
it still looks great because it was done well
Yeah.
back then. Obviously, it was revolutionary for the time as well. But I would argue that therefore there is no need for a remake. I've not seen the remake because I couldn't give a monkeys, but to me it serves no purpose. And they must have a purpose beyond money or refreshing copyright information.
Yeah.
I mean, have either of you seen the Snow White remake?
I don't care
No.
to. I heard the acting is terrible, so no thank you.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat of I grew up with Disney and I still have all of my VHS just behind the camera.
do.
And I put them on all the time, and maybe I'm biased because I'm nostalgic, but I just, like you said, I don't see a purpose. Like, you could show them to anyone now and they can follow along and it's just a great film. So yeah, I don't get the purpose of it personally.
No, I mean, the one area of media where this isn't quite as much of a thing, and I think it's just simply due to the way that the medium is books. Books tend not to have remakes. I'm sure there's going to be some people rushing to the comments and saying, sort of, but what about this? What about that? And there may well be some good examples, but nothing immediately springs to mind. One did spring to mind, but we're going to avoid talking about the Bible. Yeah. But, right.
I mean, adaptations are a different thing. Like, if you want to look at like the written word, books into scripts or books into plays, like
yes,
things
absolutely.
like that. Like, that's different.
That's changing the medium, isn't it? That's not a remake. That's, and you could make the argument for film and TV in that sense as well. Or vice versa. But you do get revisions. And people, a lot of people are quite sort of like, oh, remakes are lazy. My God, do people not like revisions in books? Like, they really don't. And I fully understand why, because, books are very much, sort of their time. And to be honest, even, films that have revisions, like the Star Wars, anniversary ones
Marvel
where they had a load of
movies coming out for Doomsday. That's going to have a revision. They're re-releasing Endgame.
With,
to match with
stuff.
Doomsday and kind of retconning the TV series.
I was going to say
stuff.
they're boycotting.
Forgetting themselves. Yeah, they're retconning a lot of the stuff that happened in the TV series over with Marvel.
Oh, for God's sake, yeah.
Just for Doomsday. So,
yeah.
Sorry, you were saying about Star Wars.
Yeah,
revising.
well, it's just they added a load of CGI stuff and it doesn't add anything. It doesn't have a purpose other than. I know that, so they say that, it's what George Lucas always envisioned. Well, maybe George Lucas should have been held back like he was, because there were other people involved, other people that said, no, George, naughty George, we're not doing that, for budgetary reasons or for whatever. Limitations can really benefit art in general as well. And sometimes I think that's the best thing, sort of one person having an idea and having no one telling them no, you end up with things like The Room. And don't get me wrong, The Room is hilarious, but sort of...
They did a remake of that. They did. With Better Call Saul in it.
Really?
Yeah, it was just a bit like a fan project sort of thing. But yeah, they got him to do it. So that's a remake. There you go.
But the thing is, I don't know. We're starting to get into dangerous territory here. But I think my point is that remakes have always existed and people have heavily leaned on them. At the moment, I think it is definitely a bit heavier. But as for the Nintendo ones, specifically to bring things even remotely back into focus, I don't know, Ocarina of Time is a really old game, and Ocarina of Time 3D was actually released, it's been longer since Ocarina of Time 3D than Ocarina of Time was when Ocarina of Time 3D came out. It's been more years, just to make everyone's hair turn grey and fall to dust. And I think, sort of that they can do stuff that they couldn't do before with this remake. They're going for a different style as well. We don't know what they're going to do with it, but I'm excited. I think it's going to be good. And particularly after the Star Fox remake, I was a little bit, sort of like, really? You're just doing Star Fox 64 again? Star Fox 64 being a remake of Star Fox. But, I was pleasantly surprised. I played it and I was like, yeah, you know what? Yes, this is worth having, this is worth playing, and I think I'm going to double dip on a physical edition as well.
I mean, I'm planning on getting the game regardless. I want to get a physical edition of Ocarina for sure.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
All my other copies are digital. Physical. Digital.
Oh, I was going to say.
Physical. God, who am I? But yeah, I do worry that with remakes, a lot of the time, companies just do it for nostalgia bait. We're all of a certain age. We all want to kind of go back to the comfort of
the womb.
Back in the day, of the womb, of the comfy console days. And I'm doing that quite a lot now. Trying to disconnect as much as I can during the weekends, and having games like Ocarina coming out as a remake, fantastic. But also, if no one wants to play the remake, it's on NSO. You can still play it on there as well as Majora and stuff. But personally, I'm going for it. I am going for the Ocarina, and I'm an insane person. I might just keep playing my OG one as well. Because I have
know, I
two
agree.
versions I'm playing right now.
I totally agree. And I think the other thing as well, so Ocarina is my favourite game of all time. And I do have such nostalgia for like the original graphics and stuff. So I'm slightly dubious of like the style. However, set that aside, I'm so excited for a different generation to get to experience what I did as a kid that got me into video games and like has me here doing this job was literally from playing that game. And I'm just really excited to see just people's reactions to it who haven't had that story before. And I think, yeah, that's a really good thing. And I'm glad they're remaking it. I think, like you said, it's been a scary amount of time since it come out now. I tried to think.
28 years it'll be.
84
Brilliant. Thanks for that
years.
reminder.
I am curious to see what they are going to bring to the table, especially with it being a remake. I mean, having a Bebo? What is going on with my brain?
Oh, that is a throwback.
Oh,
Bebo, yeah.
Bebo. Now we're talking. Let's remake Bebo.
Bring it
Having
back.
like amiibo capability would be really cool. I'm interested to see how big an open world it is. If they're
Well, if
going to
it
go
is open
more,
world.
yeah. I mean, if it's going to be hub worlds or proper open world,
I like to think it'll
Breath
be
and
kind of
Wild
all
type
connected, but not massive.
cut down the loading times, Nintendo. Yeah. But yeah, I'm interested to see what that's going to be, and if they add any extra bits and bobs and wobbly bits, and keep the warp. You know, that's
Oh,
the wobbly
yeah,
bit I'm referring to, Alex.
I know,
The
I know.
warp.
I'm
excited to see
really...
what the Gorons are going to look like as well. Really excited for that.
I hope they sound exactly the same, yeah.
Need to have the dancing Goron.
Oh,
for sure.
maybe we should have an entire chat about just that topic. Maybe we already had it planned. Maybe we already have something specific in mind for it as well. But you'll have to wait and find out. Final question. Gem, Nightmare in Dreamland, good remake? The answer's yes. Yeah.
Yes.
It's really good. I love it. It's the first. I didn't play Kirby's Adventure and then Nightmare in Dreamland.
Scan. Oh, yeah. Love.
It's wonderful.
No notes.
I've
Yeah.
not played it.
Oh my gosh.
I've only played the OG Kirby's. And Kirby
Right,
Pinball.
we're giving you a list of Kirby games.
So many I want. So many. You have no idea. Forgotten Land, I really want to play.
Oh my gosh, it's so good.
I mean, I have I've got the cone Kirby over there somewhere. Like, I have my little mini Kirby bit
Cute.
there. So I've got to.
I can see.
I've got to do it.
Got it!
There it is. There it is.
The OG. I also found this.
Yeah.
I say found it like I didn't know where it was. But I found it. Yay!
Yay.
But those are just our thoughts. What do you think of remakes? Do you think that they are the soil on your shoe, or do you think that they are the best thing, the best time since sliced bread? Let us know with a comment down below. But for now, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, then why don't you remake that subscribe button HD, upscale, 4K, 60 frames a second. You gotta love it. And be sure to check out NintendoLife.com for all sorts of fun Nintendo-related content. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.